Hey guys, this is Iamvanguard. Oops. Still try to kind of get the concept of this live thing, but it seems like it's a little harder to do because of the orientation of the phone. So I might try to figure out a different way to do this, but for now, let's work with what we have, and I will be following the comments. So just go ahead and put your comments down. These are I kind of displayed some of the decks I have. The lower ones are basically the cards without the staples. So bear with me here. Okay. Awesome, awesome. Awesome, awesome. All right, so here, it's been a while since I actually did an interactive video because mostly I've been doing podcast and just kind of doing shorts, and then did a couple lives. I think the most recent one was a 4 hour one for Vanguard Day, which I just kind of left the camera on and just let it roll throughout the day. I was like, hey, whoever wants to watch can watch. I mean, if not, whatever, right? So, I mean, overall, it was just trying things out because I haven't been in the whole YouTube type of things in a while. So it's pretty fun now, I would say. Yeah, so I guess I can kind of go over whoever's here or not. I guess I can always ask again for any questions if you guys leave comments, which I'm following down. But this is my favorite deck in the format. It's called Direful Dolls. It's a pretty budgeted deck if you don't like go max rarity and then obviously try to get the promos cheap from your friends, but it's pretty favorable. I like the fact that it multi attacks. It has defensive options, and then definitely like the artwork of it. I definitely think the artwork is really good. And hi for people that are just coming in. I'm just kind of rambling until people have comments for me. I'm watching the chat to monitor if you guys have any questions. Just kind of hang out and do stuff, right? So yeah, going back, yeah. So Direful Dolls definitely have an interesting concept. I can see this deck definitely go a long way with the right support in the future. So yeah, so hopefully this deck actually gets better. It's still pretty good from my opinion, but obviously it got power crap compared to like other decks. Let me put on the chat. Okay, so that's my favorite deck. I'll kind of go with my second one right now. I think this is my second favorite deck, Leo Odium. I really do enjoy the Odium deck just because it has the aggressiveness I want in the deck itself, and it replenishes it. It replenishes the cards I put down in a pack with, right? So I definitely think this is a very nice dark state deck. And obviously, the one bad thing about this deck is that it requires a lot of staples, unlike Direful Dolls. Direful Dolls don't really require staples anymore compared to when it first came out, but this deck is like all staples in the deck. So definitely, I would say one of the harder decks to build, but it's a very fun deck to build. And if you do have it, it's a very fun way to play the deck. So I would say it's my second favorite deck at the moment. Let's see, I would say my third is definitely Zorga. I would say Zorga Nadir is one of the cards I wanted to build over Blankdemire in set two. What colors do you think are best for faster paced matches? Okay. Faster paced match. What colors? I would say. Um, that's interesting because I feel like that in Var, I would say the red deck definitely has some aggressiveness to it, and I think Keter is one of the more aggressive builds because they have access to the dog and other cards that call out cards. So I would say those two are currently the faster pace, but I wouldn't say Varga is more aggressive now. So I would say Keter is probably the most aggressive deck in the format. And it was Martha Thompson that left the comment. And yeah, that's my current opinion on the fast-paced deck. So I would say if you want a deck that rushes more, I would definitely go with the Keter decks. But going on, until you guys have more questions, which I'll answer in between. Zorga Nadir is definitely fun. And what I was saying is, I wanted to play this over Blankdemeyer, but the cards were so expensive to get at the time because I was just kind of coming in and I only had Dark States, so I wanted to dedicate to one clan. But once the price dropped, I immediately picked this deck up, and it's really fun to play. I think like building numbers, toolboxing, and the fact that like you can put orders for each matchup is very fun. And I do like toolboxing type decks as well as decks that rush. So definitely something I do recommend to try out. So this is probably my third favorite deck at the meta. Um, to be fair, the other decks to me are just kind of like similar. But if I do have to pick a fourth, I would say I really do like Maelstrom. Maelstrom is actually the main reason why I picked up Stoke in the first place. So definitely do. I am definitely gonna look into building Maelstrom Glory when it comes out. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And it seems like the deck is fairly doing well in Japan. I wouldn't say like it's top tier, but I would say it's definitely something that people are considering like meta worthy, or at least like, oh, it's a deck I have to look out for. So I'm definitely looking into it. I would say this deck would definitely be one of those decks that can get cards in the way and then filter cards out. Um, and yeah, get the advantage of the rush, build up cards. I think Maelstrom is definitely my fourth. And then I think at the moment they're all similar. Like Mush Kings is really fun. Like it's a really fun deck to play. It's a budget because most of the whole core of the actual bugs cost like less than $2. But hi, how are you? Welcome, welcome. I'm just mumbling about my decks I have and just kind of listing what I like currently in the meta. Excuse my voice. I still have a cold from Monday, so I'm still a little like my voice is still a little out. But yeah, Mush King is definitely fun. I would say like building numbers, attacking early is definitely a deck. That's really fun. But I wouldn't say it's like my favorite after Glory. I would say Gears. I do have a soft spot because Gears did kind of bring me back into the game to D format basically. One of my friends gave me like a free trial deck to play with, and basically that was one of my motivations to kind of come back. Is I had a free deck, and they were like, "Oh well, you know, you don't have to update the deck. Maybe spend like $80 more from this." I was like, "Okay, well, cool. I'll give it a try." So you know, I was playing out and trying out the deck and see how it goes. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I do have a soft spot for Gears. I'll give it the placement there. Um, kind of moving along. I would say I would give Blankdemeyer this spot right now. Just because Blankdemeyer did carry me a lot in a lot of the events that I was playing. So definitely Blankdemeyer is one of the decks I do would play in a competitive situation. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite because of the aesthetics of the deck. It's more because like it did carry me a lot throughout the whole like the Vines format. So definitely recommend that. So these two other decks, right, that I have. So Sacrifice Class, I picked it up because it was really cool, right? So this artwork was absolutely amazing. Not just the main grade three, but the secondary grade three had absolutely amazing artwork. So I would say like I really like the artwork of it, and that's why I picked it up. And basically, the locals I go to was charging me like $10 for the whole bundle. I was like, you know what? I'll just pick it up. I have the store credit, so I just picked it up, and I've never touched it. To be honest, because when this came out, this was like Shoujo Doji meta where I can never play this, right? Because we had a couple guys just playing Shoujo Doji the whole time, and it was really annoying. Because I couldn't really like go have fun at locals because there's always these like meta players playing meta. So unfortunately, it was locked away in a box. I did test it on Vanguard Pro a little bit. there was some interesting builds with Avarice Wrestlers I was trying out, which I thought was pretty interesting. But I couldn't really find a way to make this deck good no matter what, right? So it was unfortunate, but I had to kind of put it in the locker. And then another deck I had to pick up because of how people out of locals are with tournaments and stuff. Which I mean I understand. There we do have like the Migo Cups or like the tournaments or whatever not. So this was a deck I had to pick up because of those type of tournaments and limitations depending on what I do. I mean, obviously it's a really fun deck, right? Because it only cost me like $4 to build this deck, and I'll be honest, like I'm probably not gonna invest like too much into it. I did get the new promos though, because I had a lot of friends that hooked me up with the new promos. So I do have the deck like somewhat built. The only thing I haven't invested into is the crit triggers. So that's the only thing I haven't really invested in. Um, yeah, I would say that yeah, for now these are the decks I play in current standard format. I would say like standard is just one of those format that's I currently really enjoy because that's what really got me. The whole appeal was like the ride line, but all obviously like I had a lot of friends that hopped in back into the game, so it was kind of the mix, and then I just kind of got out of uh, some personal issues, and I'm like kind of trying to get my friends back, and I was kind of like locked away around. So just just a lot of things kind of happened, and I decided to come back to Vanguard, and then once I started playing Vanguard, I felt more passionate about doing well, not videos but contents, I guess. So that's why I started the podcast with Domino Paris and some other YouTubers. I've been trying to collab, and I've been going to regionals because I'm more motivated to play. So I mean, a lot of things. And also I did pick up premium for a little bit, right? So I did pick up Gears as a premium deck because I had the standard one, and then I had some issues with the deck because I just got like stung by like a really good deck called Grand Blues, and I absolutely hate that deck because it's such a good deck, right? So and honestly, I think this is like when I wasn't really familiar with the meta, so I would say like I kind of got what I deserved. I did make top eight because like I just kind of did the one trick pony with the Gear Chronicle go first, stride first, and then just try to kill them first stride, and then maybe survive another turn and then just do the next stage play. So I mean, I kind of had it autopilot, and I thought like I was good at premium, but obviously there was still much to learn, right? So I picked up Ghidorah because I got really annoyed by all these meta decks around, like in our locals. But eventually, like once I played it, like I realized that it takes a lot more skills to play Ghidorah, and obviously the other thing was like it went up in price like ridiculously. So I was like, you know what, let's let it go. Because I wanted to go to Chicago, and I also wanted to make some money off it. So I went ahead and sold that, and I actually picked up Aquaforce as a premium deck because I thought it was kind of cool. Like I really liked Aquaforce like back in the past as well. So I picked up Aquaforce. I'm also thinking about picking up Spike Brothers. So I've been looking like at the pieces little by little. So I've been kind of picking up the Spike Brothers stuff. Let's see. I think I have it here. So yeah, I picked up some of the Spike Brothers stuff. I'm still working on it, but most likely like I'm kind of picking up most of it little by little. I think I have most of the cards to be honest. So I definitely think that I'll probably be working on Spike Brothers as well. Most likely we'll be done with it by the time I can get people to sell me the stuff and if they have the product, because premium product is really hard to pick up compared to standard. So but yeah, definitely been enjoying Aquaforce. I've been playtesting a little bit. I do need to make some adjustments because I've been talking to the guy that made top 32 in Philly with Aquaforce. He was giving me some ideas how to play the deck and what I can do on matchups and what techs that he's trying out after losing to Nui. So I think he has a couple ideas. So I am taking his ideas and trying this and that. But I definitely think this is more suited for me. I think it's like not meta, but like I have to know how my deck works and I can interact with other people. So Aquaforce is a pretty good deck to pick up for premium at least. But yeah, if you guys, whoever's watching, if you guys have any questions, please shoot on the comments. I'm just kind of mumbling until people start asking me questions and just to kind of interact with people that are wanting to hang out and talk about Vanguard. Just kind of this also kind of give me ideas of what kind of content I do want to create as well. Yeah. But yeah, you guys giving me feedbacks are always helpful on my content. And obviously, criticism is great too. I always say criticism should be at the level where it's not like word violence is how I feel like. As long as I think like it's just saying like, hey, honestly, I think this is what you can work on, blah 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 blah. I think that's kind of good versus like, oh, your content sucks. Because I feel like your content sucks is just like one of those people that love to just not even criticize, just bash on other people. So I mean, other than that, I mean, if you guys are willing to criticize and just let me know what I can improve on my channel, because like I said, it's been a while since I've done streaming, live, etc. So yeah. So yeah, it's kind of my decks I play. Don't have everything. My double deck. I actually spent a lot more money than I thought. Because of Direful Dolls. Because I actually max rarity this deck. As well as with the triggers as well. So I spend a lot more than I thought. On that deck. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have a lot of decks. I only kind of kept it to like 2 nations because I sold everything else recently because I didn't want to expand too many decks and I just wanted to kind of keep what I had and just work with what I had versus like expanding decks and playing what I am not gonna play. I did that a little bit. Like I was building a Brand Gate, I was trying Dayusha. What else did I build? I had MLB, but I got rid of that quickly because I realized that I'm never gonna build Keter. Like unless I was gonna build Raziel, because Raziel was a very huge attraction for me to build because it was such an attractive deck for me because it's my playstyle. So Raziel was another deck I was considering to build when I first came into the game, but like I didn't want to spend like $500-$600 on a deck where I'm just like it's not worth it. So I would say one thing that with Gears, right, is I really like Gears. It's solid. I would say like it's the oldest dry deck and it's still surviving in the meta. It's still being played and it's still getting an upgrade. So I think like having a stride deck long term is a good idea. So I do have like that's why I'm keeping Gears as my one stride deck. I decided like not to build any other stride decks. I was thinking about Harry because it was Dark States, and Harry did have some attractive aesthetics because that deck itself had toolboxing. I can do this, I can do that. So I was considering it, right? But I feel like that should I not? And then I just decided not to because I heard that Gears was getting Cronus commands. So I was kind of thinking on the long run, I'll probably get more support. So I'll just hold on to the one stride deck for now until like I decide like until maybe like a Thavis stride deck comes out. That's a different story, right? So if a Thavis stride decks come out, I might be playing that instead of Gears, to be honest. Another stride deck that would attract me to play. Can't think of any because I never really did. I really play back then. I played Royals, right? But I never played Alt Mile. I always played like Blaster Blade or I think I played Sanctuary Guard at the time. So I would say like not really an attractive meta. I would say if they announce the Sanctuary Guard strike deck, right? I will sell all my Still Chaos stuff, and a lot of my Dark State stuff just to get that deck ready. Like I'll probably buy all the staples again, and I'll spend everything to get it done. Like, because Sanctuary Guard is the deck I really loved when I played Vanguard. Truly, I did like Royals in the beginning, but then they kind of swayed away to Jewel Knights, which it wasn't like my huge favorite at the time. I mean, I can see the aesthetics, like why people liked it now, but I think back then I just didn't like it because they were kind of going out of the way to do something different to attract different type of I guess customers, right? But I personally like the Blaster Blade, the MLB at the time, but they, kind of swayed away from it. And then I saw Daigo play Sanctuary Guard and the Stride deck. I was like, oh, this is really cool. I want to play this deck. So I bought like a playset from a person I know. Long story short, like as soon as I picked up, it was like $20 each, right? Because the trial deck price. But I decided that was like the biggest money I spent when I at the time. I think I have never spent more than a certain amount of dollars on 4 cards, and it kind of started there. So I built Sanctuary Guard. I already had Royal Staples, so all I needed was the 4 Sanctuary Guard, and then I think it was a festival or a fighters collection, I believe, that came with the stride. I went all in to pick up that stride, and as soon as I picked up Sanctuary Guard, I played that deck for 3 years. Never got rid of it, and I still kept it almost till the end. I would say before I quit Vanguard during 2021 when Overdress came out, when Overdress was announced, basically is when I officially quit Vanguard. Like the card game, I did do like Zero for a long time until Zero was closed out as well. So, um, so yeah, Vanguard and Vanguard Zero is a different story, right? Because I really enjoyed Vanguard Zero because I can play Vanguard from my phone. So I was on that thing and I was like ranking all the time, right? So I was like within the 100 ranking like most of the time, and then maybe like weeks I slack off, I'll be in like the 2 or 300s. But you most of the time I was like in the higher rankings most of the time. But yeah, it's a different story. Yeah, but if Sanctuary comes out in standard, you're gonna see like none of these decks. So, like I'm putting all into Sanctuary Guard. Although I'll be honest though, it would have to really matter on the effects. Like if the effects are like not as like decent as I thought, or like they like downgraded it really hard where it's not playable, then I'll probably not pick it up. But most likely that's another deck I'll be interested in picking up is Sanctuary Guard as a different nation. But other than that, I think I'm gonna stick with Dark States and Stokia decks because I just feel like that's the at least like for me that was one of the dedications I made is like I'm not gonna pick up a Keter deck because I feel like that's like when I would say like not glory days but like that's like when I really love the game deeply, and I feel like that's not like I would say I love the game, but like that's not where I'm at like on a competitive mindset. I think now I'm just kind of like I want to have fun. I get to see my friends on occasion to get out of the house. So I just feel like that. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why I kind of stick with Dark States, and I really like the whole concept of Dark States, right? Because they're about to set up and then playing your game after the setup, so it's pretty fun. But yeah, it seems the comments are kind of slow. Um, and unfortunately, not a lot of people are watching, which is fine because I don't really do this because I want the popularity or the views. I just do this because I'm bored, and it's. I think it's a good way to thank the people that actually watch my channel and kind of remember who I am after all these years of not posting content. So I think I do these kind of things just like say thanks for watching my back channel. But I do want to do something to kind of help out. So I do these like small things to kind of interact with the people I'm with. So I would say like once again, whoever is watching these my videos, my poor bad videos, I would say thank you for watching always. And I always say like it's one of my motivations to start videos again is when you guys like talk to me at regionals like hey I know you, you're I am Vanguard, or small comments like that. It was like hey or you guys like comment on my videos saying hey I have questions for you, I saw you run this deck, how do you feel about it. Like when you guys ask questions like that, I feel like I get more motivated to do videos and such to try to make my channel good, or at least like do something to kind of support the people. So when you guys leave a comment on my videos, I always like try to be very responsive on it, or like at least like try to provide you with the most correct answer possible. Just because like that's how I feel about like how I should really support you guys as a content creator. So definitely. And oh, just a heads up, guys. There's a video that was posted at Domino Paris's channel. It's it's the Varga versus Odium matchup. I'll be honest though, that game my deck was super clumped, and I actually do wanna post. Uh, and yeah, I always with me and Gabe, we're like really we're like best friends. Back when even before we started Vanguard. So we always try to support each other. And as soon as I see his videos, I try to post it on mine or at least like advertise it to others. Video we recorded. And yeah, that deck was super clumped. And actually, that Levy Dress matchup was after like he unclumped my deck, which was yeah, which was really nice, right? And yeah, there's a lot of it's nice I guess comments and such. Yeah, so yeah, he's been really working towards making his channel better. So I really respect the effort that he puts in, even with his job and everything. I should definitely have no other excuses myself to do more like I would say once again, like I think instead of and this is a comment I saw on one of Domino Paris's channel is that if you guys see a misplay, right? Instead of saying, "Oh, you made a misplay," it's probably better to point out the misplay, like some other people's, like, "Oh, you can't call this here," or you can do this. Like, be more detailed about it, because I feel like that if you're not detailed on your plays or on your comments, I feel like that it's just kind of sounds like a hate comment, right? So I'm not saying like this person did it as a hate comment, but I'm just saying like from my perspective, when you guys are like posting comments on someone's channel, not just mine or Domino's um, channel, I would say like overall, I'm just saying like definitely post what you think is the misplay, what you saw as the misplay, because then that actually helps me and Gabe grow as a player versus like you made a ton of misplay, but what's the misplay? Is usually the answer kind of towards that, right? So let's see, what else can I mumble about? Let's see, I don't see any comments right now. Oh, I think this is fine. Vanguard content creators space doesn't get enough attention outside of handful of hey Knight, I would say I appreciate the comment. I was waiting for one because I was actually running out of things to talk about. I agree. I think like the whole Vanguard community, Vanguard content creators actually do not get the attention that they do need. I agree with that. But I would say the platform now has definitely changed compared to like when I did YouTubing and I'll be honest, like I got a lot of my subscribers because there wasn't a lot of YouTube content around, and I was always like tagged on Domino Paris's videos and stuff like that. So I was like, I kind of got like the free subscribers. This is how I feel like, but I would say like yeah, I would say like exception of like different fight or like Solemn Vanguard. I think another popping channel I saw was Derek Dow. I actually do watch some of his contents because I feel like that it still gives me like useful information. I need WCC is one of the channels I like to watch because of the one thing that they do I really like is the decks. like they show that top. So that those are one of the few channels I'm aware that I follow. But yeah, I do try my best to do other content versus those because I don't want to overlap the same content. So that's why I always try to maintain podcast once a week if possible because that's something I always try to maintain for these subscribers that we have or that's with me right now, which is a huge help. Oh, also Commander Jaime also has a lot of followers as well as what I recognize. So definitely check out his channel. We're actually thinking about doing a content together soon. I'm just thinking out the topic on the podcast and what we should really talk about. Because I don't want to invite like a guest and like not have anything to talk about because that's usually going to be kind of rough, right? I mean, we can free talk, but like I also think that's kind of rude when you're inviting a guest from a different channel. So I'm definitely gonna have a good topic to talk about ready once Commander Jaime comes on the channel. I'm probably thinking like maybe after Chicago just because like I am still like kind of preparing for Chicago myself to play for regionals because me, Domino Paris, and a couple other friends are going to Chicago together because we do want to try to top. Obviously, my goal is I want to make first place. So hopefully I can get there is what I'm hoping for. So, but yeah, Knight, I do appreciate your comment. Yeah, I do agree that it's a hard environment, but honestly, I think I just kind of do it not because of the popularity. Once again, I just kind of do it because I really enjoy um, posting videos and appreciating people that leave comments or like hang out or even just watch my videos for like a minute or two, right? Because they waste their time. They waste their valuable time of a minute to come watch my video for their minute. So I think every person that does even click my videos to just say like, oh, I watched it, or just even give a like, I would say like that. It's a lot of effort that they're spending. So I do appreciate it. But let's see. It's funny. I was kind of looking through our old videos that we did together. I just like one. I looked at like how old we got because damn, we are so old, right? Because I played Vanguard when I was 21, but two is like seeing all the players that was young and then see them all like grown ups actually like being one of the best players in the world, or like they're one of the people that top now, or like even like Sean that used to just be like a I'm not gonna say like an otaku, but like he was huge into like Vanguard content creators, so he used to comment. And honestly, at the time, like I did try to do my best to reply, but I feel like that at the time, like it was so much for me to take because as much as like I am a very interactive person, I also am very shy interacting with new people. I I am an extrovert, but also I'm also very very introverted as well. So sometimes like when I'm interacting with people, I have that like awkward moment, and I'm trying to figure out like, oh wait, who's this person, or like, oh is he like what like how should I act towards myself? Because sometimes like I feel like that when someone catches you off the wrong time, like sometimes like you're I'm not gonna say true nature, but you're at a frustrated situation when someone tries to talk to you. I'm like, I need to calm down. This person doesn't know what happened to me right now or before, so let's just be nice to them. Like, hey, hi, etc. So, let's see. I want to figure out like it's always hard to kind of talk on these kind of things without a topic. Let's see. Yeah, so my go. Actually, there is another tournament on the forgot the name, but you have to like use lyrical or Mygo decks. I guess I should like I'll probably sign up for the event just so I can get like the promos, but I'll probably just play test um, decks I can play for regionals. So I think that's gonna be another thing I'm gonna focus on is play decks I need to play for regionals. I am most likely my highest candidate of deck I'm gonna play is Leo, because I feel like that Leo has the safest option to play in the meta. Blangdemar, I think it's a little power crept now, especially like if it doesn't have the promo, the Dark State Shenri, it's gonna be very power crept. As much as I would love to play Direful Dolls, I just can't right now because it's also gonna be super power crept. I'll be honest, Zorga was another deck. I was like, holy crap! Like this deck can be really good, right? But the problem is like I feel like that with Zorga, it's very inconsistent. Like if you have the absolute like nuts like in your hand, like you have everything that you need, and every card and every damage and everything just follows your way. It's the best deck in the format. But once you like brick early or don't see at least like one order card to maintain your turns, then this could be the worst deck in the format. So it's just one of those decks that's like 50-50. But Zorga's one of those decks that's always like not a bad choice to play. It's kind of like that Leonon deck that everyone kind of likes to go to when they have nothing to play. So, vlogging events. Honestly, Knight, I actually picked up this weird looking tripod right here. I don't know if you see it on the screen. Yeah, so I picked this up because this is actually one of those multi tripods. I'll be honest though, I don't know if I would vlog the Saturday event. Just because that day I feel like I'm gonna be more focused on playing, more than anything. I might like do like a quick vlog going in to the event for Saturday, and then obviously leaving the event. But I don't know if I'll do like the games in between. Um, for Saturday, Sunday. I mean, I'll be more like I'll probably like be more focused on vlogging is what I'm thinking. I haven't done one in a while, so I was either thinking of doing an actual vlog, but that requires editing, which that's one of the reasons why I don't do videos anymore. But I was also thinking like doing a live, but obviously lives are I'm kind of looking at it, but lives are somewhat very difficult to do if you don't have like a lot of subscribers or a lot of people that like to watch your lives. So yeah, I actually might do a vlog for Chicago, to be honest. I am planning to go to more events in the future, so that's probably something I can start prepping is doing vlogs. So I don't know why this thing won't let me do the orientation differently, but it's whatever. I'll figure out the live thing. But yeah, night I'm definitely more into doing more vlogging. I might try one for Chicago. I'll probably like do one on the Friday. Yeah. Yeah, of course. And I understand. Um I mean, I only do live because I just wanted to try testing this tripod most likely because that's what the whole like you know trying out to see if the live works vertically or horizontally. I was trying to figure out the orientation because last time I did the whole live thing, I just kind of left it at locals, and I every time I had a game, I just posted it. But yeah, I'll definitely try to do a vlog. That's one of the things I had in mind to do is yeah trying out vlogging might be fun. I haven't done one in years, and I am a little shy, so I think that's my biggest concern about vlogging. But I think if I get a Red Bull in, I should be happy though. Yeah, I appreciate it, Knight. I do appreciate that you are still watching our channel, so I'm happy for it. And please support my channel, but like also support my friend Domino Paris, 21, because he's like for me he's like the main focus. Like I would like to put on content creating. I feel like that I support his content more than mine, to be fair. I do. I always joke I don't watch his videos, but I actually do watch his videos. I mean, I obviously want to kind of catch up his mistakes, and I can kind of point it out to him. It's like, hey, you could have done that and such. But yeah, I do appreciate the support that you guys are all giving, because for me, it's one of my motivations to do content in general. So, and then yeah, Big Pappy. Haha, the name. I haven't seen Mush Kings. Yes, Mush King. I actually think it's a really fun deck to play, and I think like so. The one thing with Mush Kings, right, is that you have to take it at an event that no one is going to realize that you're actually going to play it. But it has to have the right amount of support at the same time. So I think like honestly the best time to play Mush Kings was when set 3 first came out. So like the San Antonio event when someone actually did make the top 32 with Mush Kings. I actually thought it was very genius, right? Because it took it when they got the Alvina support at the right time, and it was an event that people were not expecting Mush Kings to play in. So I think like playing Mush Kings at the San Antonio event was absolutely genius. So congrats to the guy that made top with Mush Kings. But yeah, Mush Kings is really good, and it catches a lot of people off guard. Hello, Stella. Hi, how are you? Why are you watching my channel? We see each other every week. So the person that commented, Stella. So she is what I really consider one of my favorite people at the locals I go to right now, called Boba Hero, located in Sterling. Obviously, I do advertise it every day, but she is basically my favorite test buddy. She also helped me actually restart my content too. She gave me a lot of the ideas on what I can do or what would look more professional and such. So I really appreciate Stella's help, and obviously she's actually one of my playtest buddies for Raziel. So shout outs to Stella. So appreciate it, and I know I'm happy as well. And you know, yeah, definitely watch Domino Paris's channel because we do a lot of matches and deck profiles together. So any decks that he doesn't have, I usually have. So we usually like do film content. So any type of filming, I usually do tend to help out with them. So just yeah, just support, and then obviously you can come watch mine if you're bored, and then listen to my podcast if you have nothing else to listen to when you're at work, because that's actually basically how I came up with the idea. Yeah, I don't know. Hey Gabe, I don't know if we can film for all these. These are a lot of decks, and some of them are broken up. Like this deck, like who plays this deck? Sacrifice class? I just have it. But yeah, Gears, and then when Glory comes out, obviously we need to film that. And then Dolls, I mean, you guys seen people play, but Dolls is actually really fun too. Me and Domino have Blankmeyer. Yeah, actually it's funny because so another buddy of mine, Mark, so he only played this deck until regionals. So basically, everyone at our locals knew what Mush King did. So it kind of lowered the whole surprise factor at our locals. But I think like the expectation was like he kind of does it at regionals and he catches people off guard. And I think like he unfortunately just had very mishaps with the deck, and he had to drop. But yeah, Mush King is really. I actually think it's very low key good. But yeah, luckily it's all my friends are supporting today. I just kind of want to do a chill and talk. Yeah, yeah. With Mush Kings, you do have to hit triggers. Yeah, if you don't hit triggers with Mush King, you kind of lose. To be honest. And use my water break real quick. So Uh, Gabe, which one are you talking about? What do you mean restanders though? You talking about the Bush King deck? Mm-mm-mm. Oh yeah. So this is as my buddy Mark at locals always says is Mush King is like the cheap green version of Varga. And then Varga is also another version of Mush King. So he actually plays Varga right now because it's like to him it's a similar deck as Mush Kings, which I understand. I can kind of see the concept, and that's basically what Domino's saying is like all the restanders require triggers. I think this is like the one restanded deck I have. Yeah, other than that, like Most of my decks are like triple drive or like crits, some weird stuff. I don't have a lot of restandard decks. You know, I actually think I have like more decks I can put together. Maybe. No, I think this is it for now. Yeah, I think. Yeah, honestly though, this is a deck I really want to play, but I just can't find a good build for it for now. But this is very interesting. The sacrifice class. Absolutely. What am I doing? I'm just doing a Q&A. And what's up? Hey guys, it's Cardfight King on the chat. Aqua Life baby, you all know it. So one of the reasons why I picked up Aqua Force again because I wanted to hopefully try to get my buddy Cardfight King back into the game, but it seems like he's already been playing a little bit, so I'm happy that it's a motivator. Oh, actually, speaking of Aqua Force, I put it back down, but so this is for Cardfight King, but this is the deck I've been playing in Premium now. Playing that Aqua Force Favis Life. It's a pretty fun deck. But yeah, Aqua Force Premium is actually not bad, Clay. You should, if you ever consider playing Premium again, Aqua Force is really cheap right now. Definitely pick it up. Oh, true. Yeah, because it doesn't. It just it reattacks with the Vanguard, and then it basically has like no rear attacks. Yeah, Stella's right. Yeah, I do want to. Actually, now that Shoujo Doji's away, maybe like it's a good time to take out this deck and try it out and see how it goes. Maybe after Chicago, I'll like do some playing around with it and see if I can find a good build to try out at locals. But yeah, until Chicago, I'm probably just gonna test the one deck and figure out my matchups and see what I need to do. And hopefully, I can try to make first place and get a free plane ticket to Japan. Is what I always wanted. Even years ago, that's like the one thing I couldn't accomplish is Bushiroad top. So that's always something I always aim for is to top in a Bushiroad event. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, Knight. In our locals, we have a lot of the good premium players that top in events. I think our locals hold like four players that topped in an event, and then we have two players out of the four that actually made the that is qualified for Worlds and Premium. So, I mean, our locals have a lot of premium players. So it's really hard not to play premium at our locals just because we play both formats. But the all the good players actually do tend to play premium, and actually our locals at Boba Hero, all the players actually start picking up premium as well, and they're all like relatively new to game, and they all seem like to enjoy premium. Because, like I said, there is a lot more variety in premium, and I do really enjoy the fact that premium is fun. I feel like that once they make another ban list, I would actually enjoy playing premium a little more than current. So I mean, I wouldn't say premium's like all that bad. The prices are like not as ridiculous as you think. Knight, I would say like a deck like uh, the Spike Brother deck I was trying to pick up. All the stuff were like 50 cents, so it's really relatively pretty cheap to pick up. So I mean, I wouldn't like shoot down premium immediately. Um, Standard is the more favorable format, but I wouldn't shut down premium as a format. I just think like premium could be good if they like do better price support and such. Referring to Legion cards. Oh, I would say, is the Legion cards really that expensive? I haven't really looked up the price. Hey, it's up, Ed. Let's actually, while we're talking about it, let's look up the price. TCG player. didn't know Legion cards were that expensive. It's not like too ridiculous. It's not too bad. Oh well, that's because like that's a high rarity though. Uh, the Revenger Abyss cards are definitely more pricier because they're like a high rarity. If you're getting high rarity, I think everything is kind of expensive to be honest. So I wouldn't kind of include that as like um, Legion cards are expensive. I would be more like, oh well, the high rarity still maintain its value is probably the correct word. I'm trying to see the price here. I want to see how much it is now that you mentioned it. Let's see. Is it really that bad? Huh. Did I miss it? Oh, it's out of market. Oh, that's the SP one, right? I mean, it's not too bad, right? The Legion rare blaster, Phantom Blaster is like 64.99. The Blaster Dark is like 38.98 on TCG low. That's not like too ridiculous. I would say like what's ridiculous is like the SP on standard. Is kind of ridiculous for my part because those cards are really expensive. So yeah, I mean it's not too bad. I thought you were like talking about like in the hundreds, like $200-300. So that's not like too horrible. Let's see. Okay, but the price is pretty good. Not yeah. I mean, a high rarity card back then, I felt like it was more expensive. Like it was going for like hundreds of dollars. I remember like I had that set and I sold it for a pretty good price at the time. I basically bought like 2 3 decks selling that playset of the Abyss Legion rare. So I mean compared to that it's not like too horrible to be honest. I would say like I think Vanguard probably has the most fluctuated market from my opinion. Because the odium stuff is crazy, right? Like the triple rare is like at $18 still, and I think at one point it dropped to like $10. So that kind of says it all, from my opinion. Like the fact that yeah, I mean Vanguard prices fluctuate a lot. I agree. Yeah, yeah, they were going for a lot. Like it's definitely more than a penny, but yeah, I mean they were going for a lot, like a couple hundred for the playset. I think it was like $200-300 for a playset if I remember. That was pretty bad at the time. But I mean to be fair, like there was less cards back then too. So definitely understandable, right? I would say like yeah, the cards for Vanguard is just sometimes like it's ridiculous. Like this card, Average Wrestler, used to be like a not even a joke, like 40 cents, and now it's like a $32 card. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Ed. I feel like that the recyclers in general just need a reprint, and yeah, I agree. I'm looking at the market value, right? The amount the amount that they charge is ridiculous on the market value. Like what's really funny is that the people playing around with these prices like are just really crazy. Like they buy out all these cards, and then they just fluctuate it to whatever price that they think that it will sell at. is usually how it goes. Or they'll just put a ridiculous price until a certain person will drop the price. And then basically the person that raised the price will also drop it to that price. Or they'll wait until regionals and then they'll have this big pile of trades and then they'll start selling it to people. Because I always say, the people with the big binders, they're probably the ones that's like fluctuating the price, from my opinion. But that's also a different story for a different day, is what I say. Because I talked about it plenty on the podcast, but I really hate the players that do that. I just feel like no respect towards like the people that do that. Just because like I don't, I just think it's really dumb, right? Like uh, you want to make money, sure, but like is that really the right way to do it? Probably not. Like I feel like that like you're killing everyone else's motivation to pick up the cards because that you decided to go fluctuated. You're not helping the game. I feel like that you're killing the game by doing that. So I would say it's not really the ideal way to sell your cards. I think like if you raise it for a couple of dollars, right? Like I completely understand. Just because like yeah, I mean I get it. You want to make some money, that's fine. Like I do agree with that comment, right? I feel like that they do need to do a print wave. I don't think they should do it as often, right? Because then that kind of shoots our game down. But like definitely do enough of the definitely do enough reprints. Like the triggers. I think anything staple should definitely be more printed, more than once or twice. Which they did with the effect triggers. And effect triggers still maintain their value, but there's a lot more going around. It's easier to find. The prices aren't as like super fluctuated, so I feel like that's not the worst thing that they could have done. So I'm also looking at the prices on the Odium's SR, but damn, it's so ridiculous. Most likely these are probably one of the cards that won't go down in price for a while, but hey man, you gotta always give your shot and see how it goes, right? If they don't drop, they don't drop. I mean, oh well, right? It's unfortunate. I actually picked up the Direful FR for like $4 each. Now they're like 25 cents. If I waited like another 2 weeks, I would have got it. But that's kind of my fault on my end, to be honest. Um, I mean, I don't think you necessarily have to order the high rarity generics. I think if you order just a regular generic, that's fine. But obviously, like if that's how you do your things, I mean, I understand because having nice high rarity is nice. And Stella said it'll be nice if they release new deck sets with staples. Yes, I completely agree. I think like honestly, a kind of a crazy idea I was kind of thinking is like maybe in a year, another year maybe from now, they should do like a deck set of like Raziel, Varga, um, I don't know, Levy Dress, and something like that with these staples in it. I actually think that would be kind of cool because those are decks that people want to build, and I feel like that if they do a deck set with the low rarity of those, people will definitely pay the price to get it. I think the Orphis deck was like what 50 $60 retail, so people would pay the $60 to get the Raphael deck somewhat completed with the staples in it. So yeah, triple rare. Yeah. I mean that's all good because I do the same thing. I always get the first week the staples come out. I get them pre-ordered, so I don't have to worry about later on. Like when the festival collection came out, like I just picked up all my staples. Uh, like so I actually have a playset of these, but yeah, so I also have a playset of those. I have a playset of these, and then I also have the Stokea one as well. But I have a playset of all these cards because like I knew that I was gonna play it, and I knew they were gonna go up in price eventually. I picked up all mine for like 15 the highest each. I picked up little by little, but I definitely picked it up because I knew they were gonna shoot in price. Which what now they're like 40 to $50, so pretty good deal, right? English slash more original sets to be honest. Yeah, um, yeah, I agree. I think well, to be honest though, right? I can't like 100% agree on that statement, right? Like, because I also see some locals with dead boxes, and I feel like that's the biggest worry, as someone running a shop is that having dead products on their shelves. Like, if you get too much of a certain set, I feel like that's gonna just sit in the walls. Like, I think a good example is I think looking into Curios, another locals. I think they had a whole bunch of like set one, set threes, and set fours because those are sets that people are not interested in. Um, set two was just ever reprinted, but yeah, I mean those are just dead boxes sitting in locals and people don't pick up. Although to be fair, we've been very fortunate that we've been getting a lot of flows of old new players. So the new players actually been buying those boxes because they want to get into the game. So all in fairness, like some locals been selling out because they've been picking up new players. But for locals that don't really pick up new players, they have the same rotational players. I don't know if they want to pick up a lot of boxes. That's just how I feel, and I'm pretty sure they feel the same way on the business side. So I think that's why they don't pick up like a lot of original sets. But I do agree that they should do more of they should like get more of the festival collection or like the reprint sets, like the stuff with like basic staples on it. Like I think what was the triple drive set? I think that was another good set. History collection was fantastic for premium players. So history collection is another set that people can do as well. Yeah, I mean that does suck. I think Curios still has like a couple boxes sitting of the premium deck boxes, so it kind of sucks for them. I mean they sold most of it. I think the only one that they had stock was the Revengers one, but all the Musketeers and the Jewel Knight ones were like instantly sold out. So, but yeah, some locals they don't do premium, and when they buy the product, they just have like that product in their store. But I was gonna say, I mean, that's where like you as an ambassador, Ed, come into your locals like, hey, let's actually try out premium. Let's get a deck set and let's try it out. I think it'll be fun. Worst case, you can take it to a Bushy Road event, stay for day two, get extra packs, play around, or maybe play like 2, 3 rounds with the deck that you bought for $50 when other people spend like $100 something on their decks. And I would say like just get your packs and then wait for the side event. Go play in the side event. Like it's another good way for you as an ambassador for the card game to get your friends into a different format and try to kind of push them to get those stride decks if you do truly want to help the local community stores that you guys have. Because I don't know if Domino or Stella is still on, but they know that's like all I really do is like I'll sit out locals, I'll play my card game. If I see a new player come in, like I would try to get them to purchase like a deck box or I mean like a deck set and such. Um, because like I'll be sitting there, I see a new player come in, it's like, hey, I want to learn how to play Vanguard. I think not too not too long ago, one of the guys like he said like he used to play in Legion format. I was like, hey, so actually there's a Gear Chronicle deck set sitting right there. Do you want to pick it up? It's a full deck that you can actually just take to a tournament. It's a competitive set deck. So he picked it up. It was like a good $60 for him. I was like, yeah, I mean that's pretty much all you want to spend. You don't have to like invest in too much after that. You can just keep how the deck is. It does get future supports, and he picked up the deck and basically helped another locals pick up another deck set that was just sitting there. So like I said, we as the players do have to also help out the local community store to say, hey, um, we're gonna help you get those products off, but we do need more products in. Like that's how you get your products, and then that's how the store kind of benefits of getting the products for you when you kind of help them out. So I would say, Ed, that's another good way for you to kind of help the store to get rid of those yeah, deck sets for them. Honestly, if you do want to pick up a deck set, I do recommend picking the either the Musketeer, the Jewel Knight one because it looks nice, but like the Musketeer one because it's better. And then what was the other one? The Revenger one. I mean, it's cool and everything, but it's not really my cup of tea. Oh, interesting. So let's see. Unfortunately, Philly had one of the biggest hate for Vanguard I've ever seen. Vanguard local vanished by the end of Legion era. Oh, that's unfortunate because yeah, that's really unfortunate because I have some friends in Philly. And we did have the biggest local or I mean BCS at Philly, so it's kind of upset to see that a lot of the locals vanished by end of Legion era. So that's very unfortunate to hear. But hopefully you have a good locals that you can go to still night and play Vanguard. I actually know um, quite a lot of the players at Philly because I used to travel to New York, New Jersey, Philly. What else did I go? I went to North Carolina to play in big tournaments like ARG, not BCSs as much, but I played in a lot of like ARG events because that's 2 out of 3 at the time. So, and that's where I actually got this playmat is an ARG event, and then all these pins out here. You can't see all of it in the screen, but I have a couple, and then I have a couple that kind of fell off as well. So, yeah, I did go to a lot of events around the area. So it's unfortunate to hear, but hopefully you have somewhere to go still. And yes, Stella's right. The Jewel Knight deck is really good with the Alden stuff that came in set 4. So if you do pick up the yeah, if you do pick up the Jewel Knight set, and I would definitely try it out with the Elden stuff because I think there was a top for it in premium recently too, not too long ago. Yeah, AirG events were really fun at the time, and I think that's like when I was like peak competitive is how I feel like. Like that's like when I was actually trying to win something, do better in the game, and I wanted to be one of the best players in the in the region at the time. So I think like ARG events were definitely one of my motivations. Oh yeah, yeah. So basically, what Stella is saying is that oh, a lot of comments. I love it. Okay, so Stella is saying that it's kind of fun to persona ride then stride. Yeah, so you would stride into Alden, or sorry, you persona ride Alden, and then you stride into Crystal Luster, and then copy the effect of the Divine skill um, off it is what basically Stella's saying. And then Domino Paris is saying, I want to see more localized events from other vendors. Yeah, I would say like having another like ARG type event would be great. I remember that back when me and Gabe were still competitively playing, we used to have like a DMV Dynasty Cup that we usually traveled to. It was like around our area, then expanded to Philly, New York, and etc. Those were pretty fun. And then Momo Mochi, currently trying to get into remote scenes because here in North Carolina, I'm the only one shot too far and still. Yeah, North Carolina does not have a lot of locals, is what I remember. So I mean, I would say Momomochi. Another thing I can recommend is I'm getting into Deer Days on the Switch, and I'm actually planning to stream Deer Days 2 on the Switch as well. So definitely come join us for or come see me live for that. I'll have the streaming setup set, and I'll have Deer Days 2 after Chicago actually, which is kind of ironic because I actually wanted to take Deer Days 2 with me to the Chicago event, so I have something to do at the hotel. But it's okay, it's what it is, right? So I'll after Chicago event, I'll have something to do. So pretty fun. And then yeah, so oh, you play Deep Place. Okay, great. Yeah, definitely. And I would say get your new players into the game in premium because I would say you should play like a definitely a downgraded version of Deep Police just so like you can kind of match their level so they don't feel too down about playing the deck. So maybe something you can kind of help out the community of getting into premium. And then yeah, I would say Bushy Road event without traveling. Yeah, it is pretty far. I agree with Domino because we had to travel like 3 hours and a half to Philly. Um, we both left on that Friday after work, and we got to the hotel like at 12 o'clock, and then we had to get up at 5 in the morning. Before the event, yeah, it was pretty tiring, and we were both exhausted, and we both absolutely did not do well. I think the lack of sleep was definitely the huge reason. Partially. And then yeah, I do miss going to Richmond as well, Gabe. To be honest, like those are really good times. Like we went to ARG events. We didn't just go to Richmond. We went to Philly. I don't think you traveled with me, but I used to go to New York for the cash tournaments that they used to have in New Jersey locals. I remember like I topped in one of them. It was a pretty good. It was a good. It was a pretty good prize out. Like I think I split it with the second place, and I think I made like $250 to $300 for that event. With the taxes off, it was like two something, so it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I paid like a maybe $20 entry, so it wasn't too bad. I made my money back for sure. Momomochi, no, Dear Days 2 is coming out on the end of this month, and ironically, the Chicago regionals is at the end of this month. So I will have my Dear Days 2 coming in the actual hardware coming into my house the week after, most likely. Yeah, I don't think you have either. I know I missed a couple, but I don't think you have, to be fair. I had a lot of tops, but I don't know. I probably did miss a couple tops. But I don't know if you. I don't remember all the records that you had, but I know that you definitely topped a lot of it compared to I did. For Gabe, Domino Pairs 21, because we used to go to ARG events, and he usually topped most events that we went to as well. So yeah, pretty good days. We had a lot of fun at the time. Ooh, finally got to catch up a little bit. Let's get a water break real quick. Uh, but yeah, actually, yeah. Speaking of Deer Days, so I'm actually planning to do a live stream for Deer Days 2 when the game comes out. I haven't decided a day because my schedule is pretty packed throughout the week. So I would say usually um, the Deer Days I would have to rotate it between like I'm thinking like a Saturday night after locals or like the day I don't go to locals is what I'm thinking. So I'll probably start doing a live stream on Deer Days 2 on the Switch. I'll probably ask a couple friends that do Deer Days and then try to link with them and do some matches once I'm done with the story and everything. So that's something I'm gonna look forward to doing. Huh? DZ Lyrical One Meta 1 month before. Ed, which are you talking about the actual format now, or are you talking about in Dear Days 2 for your comment? Ed, that's fair. Dear Days 2 meta, yeah, okay. I mean, eh, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of lyricals. I am most likely getting DLCs for Dear Days 2 because I already invested a lot in Dear Days 1, so I was like, might as well just continue the investment in Dear Days 2. And then going back, Momomochi also asked, question, got any Nova Grappler premium deck recommendations? I just like big robots and playing robot decks in standard. Um, I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm not like a. I just recently got back into premium. I know that Nova Grapplers are actually not bad. I would say the Victor deck is probably the most competitive Nova Grappler deck. I don't have like a certain build I can show you right now because one, I don't have the actual physical cards. But two, because this is on a live stream, I can't like link a screen or anything to show you what I would recommend. So I would say definitely look on VG Paradox and see if there's any good deck lists. But from my knowledge, a lot of people are playing Nova Grapplers for the Victor build. And then going back, I'll be playing Dear Days 2 as well on Steam. So actually, Ed, I would say one person that is getting it on Steam and you can try to link up with is Domino Paris. He's actually going to get it on Steam as well. So he will definitely be looking for people to play against. So definitely link them up and see if you can get some matches on with them. And Victor is definitely one of those decks that's been showing results. Yes. So Victor. So the reason why Victor and Aquaforce is actually not a bad deck to play for a premium format in the BCS is they have a really good matchup against a certain meta deck called Ghidorah. So because that they're called from hand, not from deck, and decks like Nova Grapplers have resist. So I feel like that Nova Grapplers have a good matchup against Ghidorah, so that's one of those decks that populate to play for the BCS in the format because that it has good matchup against one of the most dominant decks in the format, which is Ghidorah. Ironically, Ghidorah was actually a dark, like a anti-meta deck, not a meta deck, but at BCS Philly it became a meta deck because a lot of people wanted to play Ghidorah, so it's kind of ironic. So yeah, and definitely link up for games because unfortunately I'm not getting it on Steam, but he definitely is. I'm pretty sure a lot of other people are gonna get it on Steam because of the fact that it doesn't have the you can't play it against Switch and stuff. I only invested in Switch because I already bought it beforehand, and I just didn't want to invest more DLCs into the Steam versus like I already had the games on Switch. So no crossplay, unfortunately. So I feel like that me just getting on the Switch was the right answer. And actually, I found someone that is willing to hook me up with a capture card. So I decided to okay, well I can post it on Switch. I agree. So to Stella's point, the one nice thing about the Switch version versus the Steam version is that I feel like that I feel like that the Switch version will have more players to play against in the long run. Because people in Japan still uses the Switch version. Because sometimes even if I go in now, I can actually find players from Japan that's playing in Worlds or ranking and such, like World ranking and such. So I personally feel like that having the Switch version is always going to be fun to have. But like I said, it's mostly because I invested a lot of money into it prior. So that's probably the only reason why I'm picking up the Switch version, to be honest. Yeah, me and Stella will be doing a lot of play on the Switch, just because I know that she is getting the version um, for the Switch. Also, I feel like that if I get it as a hardware copy, the one nice thing about it is that I can show you the cards that come out of it, right? So I can kind of do like an unboxing video for Dear Days too. I feel like that's kind of that would be kind of nice to do. So definitely looking forward to that Dear Days too, to be honest. Um, I'm probably gonna be playing a lot of different decks. Um, I know that the DLC is gonna probably force me to pick up a couple stuff, so we'll see how it goes. Uh, so unfortunately, I think they do not have a physical copy version in English. I think it only comes in Japan. Um, but because of the fact that you have a Switch, it will translate over to English. So the physical copy will be in Japanese. So all the cards that come in will be in Japanese as well, unfortunately. Yeah, 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 for sure. Like me and Stella will be playing a lot of Vanguard real life and I mean at locals and on Deer Days. So probably be playing against her a lot more now. And it's kind of scary because sometimes like when you play against the same person so much, sometimes it's really hard to beat them because they know how to counter you. But it also could be the same way, right? So But Stella's a very good player, so she picks up things really quickly. So she's a very tough opponent at locals, to be honest. Every time we play, I'm like, man, how do I have to play around her this time? So Stella's a very valuable player and a very valuable friend to me right now. So let's see. I was gonna say, I am looking forward to getting high rarity for the Direful stuff because there's a lot of stuff that's still not high rarity yet. Like this card, the starting lineup. If I can get these all foiled, I'll probably do it right now, to be honest. And then obviously the triggers as well. So yeah, Stella is a Keter specialist. Yeah, so Stella is definitely my best playtest person for any decks that she has for Keter. She is a tough cookie. It's really hard to even if I do beat her, it's because of like I had a good day or like I barely squeezed through on a game or she was like missing 5K. It's usually pretty tough games, and the fact that she can give me trouble when someone I've and I'm a person that's been playing for a long time. Like, yeah, she is definitely a huge challenge to me, at least as a player. She gives me a tough time, but it's nice to have someone like that. You're right. If there aren't players like Stella that will give me a tough time, I feel like that I would never grow as a player and I'll never get better as a player. So just one of those things that you have to have is good rivals and good players around you, and obviously good friends that will match up to your level. Now, I would definitely say Domino Paris has been that person to me ever since we started playing the game. He's always above the level I've been playing, so it's always good for me to play against someone like him, so I can try to learn certain things or like do what he does, or even like play decks that he would play just to try out and see I can understand that matchup. So for those of you guys that are watching, definitely have good friends that are skilled, and I would say like I'm not saying like play anyone like better than you all the time, but definitely have like one of those like tight friend groups that are really good and skilled because having those type of players will definitely bring you up as a player and increase your like level of playing. Eh, and Domino Paris says that, but he's been one of the toughest players, and a lot of people know him because he's a good player. So, and obviously I'm not saying it because he's on here. I would have said it regardless. But yeah, Domino is definitely a challenging player as well. I've definitely always had a hard time. Like I would say, like the person I would usually not even think about and team up with is Domino Paris on a team event because he would usually say, "Hey, there's a 2v2 you want to play?" I'm like, "Yeah." Or there's a spring fest. Hey, you want to team up? We'll grab another person. I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Like I wouldn't even think about like that decision because he's a reliable teammate as well as a really good rival. So, and I don't know if he's still watching. I think he's out right now, but Cardfight King is actually what I always considered as like someone as my rival as well back in the past. Because I would knock him out at a big event, and then he would knock me out at a big event, and then when we meet in the top cut, I would knock him out, and then he would knock me out into like top four or like the first place or winning the whole thing. So Cardfight King always gave me a hard time as well, but I think like we enjoyed each other's company a lot, like as in playing against each other, because I always know like we always hang out afterwards as well, and that's how I got connected with like friends like Steve or and other players in Maryland because of the fact that there's players like Cardfight King. And yes, he was playing Aquaforce at the time, and he was very challenging. And I remember like he was playing Ripples, and I was playing Sanctuary Guard. I remember that one game. Um, I think we met at the first round. I was playing Saint Guard. I went second. He would ride past. I'll go ride into grade one, swing. He no guards. I hit a crit. Same thing, grade two swing. He no guards. I hit another crit. He was at four already, and he couldn't heal. and then he did his thing. I was at like maybe or I was at 4. He pushed me to 4 damage immediately. I ride into Sanctuary Guard. I stride, and then no, actually he stayed on grade 2, so I rode on Sanctuary Guard. I was at limit break, so I had a full set of board. I swing. He no guarded my Vanguard. I hit a crit again, and that was pretty much game. I remember that was the sackiest match I ever had against that man because I hit a crit every single drive check I had. So it was a very funny matchup, but I'm pretty sure he was super salty. But yeah, I mean he's a good sport. He always gives a hey man a good game, and then he just minded his own business. Like he just kind of walked off to cool off, and I understand that because yeah, that was a really sacky game. And this is like when I was playing one of my favorite decks of all time, and it was probably one of the best decks at all time. So yeah, so Cardfight King is definitely one of those players that I always consider himself as like one of my rivals at the time, and he was ironically from Maryland. So yeah, Ed for sure. We always there's always a give and take. I have this one curse, right? So if I go undefeated, um, if I go undefeated before top cut, I always lose to the same person I beat on the final round, or I would just not win that event. On the opposite note, I would, for example, like let's say I went like I barely made it X1, I would usually win the whole event, or like I'll like be second place of that event. So that's just kind of the ideal curse I have is that usually I I don't know if it's like a superstition thing, but I usually don't like winning the whole thing before top cut, just because I know I'm cursed in that opinion. But sometimes I just take it because I'm like, hey, I rather go undefeated for now and play like have a better high chance to win. But it seems like every time that happens, I just don't top. So sometimes like I don't purposely lose, but like there's situations where I can guard, but I just no guard it, and then I'll kind of go into the round as X1, and then usually I kind of win the whole event that way. But I just think it's a superstition thing for me to be honest. But yeah, for some reason that curse has never ended, and that's been happening ever since I got back into Vanguard. That's been the curse I've been having. So, and every time like I come very close to winning an event, I always just lose by the smallest factors. And thank God this game is a best of one because this is best 2 out of 3. I feel like that curse would have continued and that would have just dragged out the curse. So thank God. I would say maybe about another 30 minutes is a good closing time. And so I stopped when Overdress was first announced, is when I stopped the game, and then I was out about 2 3 years from there. I came back. I'm gonna say what? It's been 2 years. Whenever the Gear, it was maybe like a couple months after the Gear Chronicle deck set came out, or it just came out. So because that's when like I picked up Vanguard again. Like I didn't pick up like immediately. I went to like a couple locals, maybe here and there, and then I topped like a shop qualifier here and there. Yeah, I dropped Vanguard because one I had some stuff going on in my life, so I just wanted to stop playing card games at the time, but also like playing through another how should I say it? Playing through another reset was just really hard because I already went through the V reset, and that already was like a lot on the budget. Because I remember when V was first announced, it was really tough because a lot of players were dropping. It was really hard to get the community back up. So I wasn't really like into trying to do that again. And unfortunately, I feel like that I should have stopped the V and then came back in Overdress instead because it seems Overdress was a better format to play in. So ironically, I stopped when Overdress was first announced. Because I remember the last time I played Vanguard was when the Sanctuary Guard deck came out in V, and then I think I just stopped playing afterwards. And then yeah, I came back when the Gear Chronicle 1 came out, so I played in a couple events, shop qualifiers. I think like I made like continuous stop with that deck, not knowing what the whole format was. I wouldn't. So there's a lot of things, right? On your comment, Ed, is that I agree. I think V was probably the absolute worst format, from my opinion, when it was first announced. Because I feel like that V format had a lot of issues on in its own regards. Because the power creep on V was absolutely ridiculous. Because I remember the decks that were topping and how it topped. Like just the amount of power that they got was crazy. But when they announced Excel 2, that absolutely broke the game, is how I feel like. So V definitely had a lot of problems. Overdress, I know that it did have a rough patch in the beginning, which I am kind of glad I missed it. But yeah, so yeah, Overdress, I think like Overdress was kind of like the bridge to get into Divines, which is absolutely amazing right now. So I'm kind of glad-ish that I didn't play D, but I got into the game back in Divines. And according to Knight, I think V was attempting they did for Vanguard while developing Overdress. Unfortunately, that's an absolute horrid stunt they pulled. Yeah, so I don't disagree with that. So I think what they should have done is instead of extending. Mm, see, it's weird. I wouldn't say like they should have extended, all right? Because but I think that they should have found a better way to extend the game until Overdress, because then like rebooting the game twice absolutely killed the game for a while. So I know that Bushiroad kind of most likely probably struggled during that era, and then I feel like the gift spam in general, the game started to run off. Yeah, so I remember the whole D Police and Sprite Brother decks were really crazy in V because the gift markers were ridiculous in fours, but the OTT Protect deck was really busted too. And obviously, if you add that to premium, absolutely, absolutely horrid. And then yeah, they went into if they went into G into D, yeah, I would say like if they found a way to connect the G era to the standard that we have now, I think that would have been a more smoother yeah, a smoother flow into the game. And then some of the friends that play other card games definitely knew Vanguard as the king. Yeah. So yeah, Vanguard had two reboots, and it's actually known for that, right? But was that an overall good decision? Maybe. But where we got into now is probably absolutely amazing. I wouldn't say it's because of Vito. I would say it's because they took the time in Overdress after 13 sets, they decided to do something that was really good is Divines. And I feel like that, I think they could have maybe found a different way other than implementing V into the format. They could have just done like a different extended and then go into D format is what they should have done. Yu-Gi-Oh story is a different thing, but yeah, I mean, reboot isn't really the best answer for things. Like, I feel like that reboot is kind of cheating, right? Like in a game when you can't win something or when something doesn't go your way, you click the reboot button, and I think that's what it's for. And I think that's what Bushiroad kind of did. Is that yeah, reboot is the last resort. I agree. Like you shouldn't click the reboot button right away. You should figure out things like how you want how you want to figure out the game or what you want to do with it before you click the reboot button. And I feel like that Bushiroad just kind of did the cheat and just clicked it twice. Yeah, I agree. And that's why like me and Domino really like the game is that Divines is probably the result of their hard work after rebooting the game twice. And I definitely think that Divines has been the right answer for Vanguard in a long time. Um, they should have done this before, but I'm pretty sure that they needed more ideas on the game. So I think it took them a little bit. I'm gonna say a little bit, like 2 3 years, right? It took them about 2 3 years to figure something out, and then they finally figured something out and made that into Divines, and fantastic format. So yeah, I feel like they could have done things better, but I mean overall we played the game and we just have fun with it, right? As a feeling corporate Spotify design team into overall Vanguard design team. That's part of why. Yeah, I 100% agree. Most likely if some of the people from Buddy Fight came over to the Vanguard design team, I can see why that defines is doing a lot better, or D in general, because Buddy Fight actually, from my opinion, had a very good design, right, of the game. Like not as in like the artwork or their name of choice or their anime. I'm just saying the actual aspect of the game itself was actually not bad. So I can definitely see that, right? And then yeah, Vanguard's in a good spot. The prices are really ridiculous, but I think this was a podcast I had before. But the reason why the price is also inflated is because the game is doing well, but the secondary market isn't supported yet. Is how I feel like as in like there's no like there's less singles of that product in the market. So yeah, and I agree with Ed once again. I feel like that I feel like that the buddy fight. I can see some of the collab happening with the buddy fight. Is probably because like they used to do the mechanics of the game and they're trying to kind of not bring it back, but they want to remind us that the game is better because the people that did the buddy fight designing is probably doing the D format right now. So they're probably doing the reprints with the buddy fight artwork to remind us that. I feel like we don't have as much sellers. Yeah, I agree. I think we have less sellers compared to other card games because other card games they'll open multiple cases and have a lot of singles available. But for Vanguard, it's not a safe game for like a vendor to buy it and then sell singles for. So I feel like that because of that, all these scalpers can take advantage of the secondary market, and and resell cards for expensive. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why that uh, staples in Vanguard is very expensive is because we don't have that. We don't have a lot of sellers that will sell Vanguard for a good price. So that's usually the tough spot of card games that are like in the middle. Yeah, Knight. It's funny because some people wanted to get rid of that card, right? And they couldn't sell it because it was going for like $12 at the time. And I actually one of those people that picked it up when it was cheap. And then now it's like $40 and it's so much in demand. And usually, how that works, Knight, is that it's because someone topped with a certain card, and it's usually also the viability of the card. So is it viable in premium? Yes. Then it's also going to go up in price because you got to remember BCS season, everything goes up in price, and then during Springfest, everything goes back down. So usually, the smart marketing that you want to do as a stock slash card game investor is that you want to sell most of the expensive stuff that you have or that went up in price now, and then after BCS season and when everything kind of quiets down and goes down in price and when there's less cards in demand, you probably want to start picking those cards up again. But obviously, I think some cards are just not guaranteed. So those are the cards like if you're iffy about it, you usually want to keep. But obviously, that's just my personal experience watching the market for about 2 years. Because I picked up swirlers and they're still at the same price. Like I picked up swirlers like what I think like 15 each and then they're still like selling for like $15 to $20. So that might be one of the reasons for the FOMO in the game right now. Yeah, I really wish they were selling more cards for new players because we've been trying to get new players into the game, but always the problem is there's no singles for them to pick up to play the game. And usually, if the players can't pick up their deck for like a decent price or they can't get their deck completed to compete, they usually lose the interest, which is the unfortunate part. So just one of those days, right? Yeah, I mean, if you have friends that will lend you cards for regionals, like go ahead and lend them because it's not worth it to pick up on your own playset. I mean, the only because usually like me and Domino have different decks that we like to play. So if I have like stuff that he needs, I lend it to him for locals or regionals, whatever he needs. And then it's kind of the other way around too. Is if I need to borrow cards, I'll ask him. Because I asked Domino if I can borrow like a couple cards for my premium deck. So he does have a lot of stuff that I need. So I'm probably gonna borrow it from for Chicago, and then probably gonna give it back after the event and such. So I mean, I would say you always have to have that good friend that you can stay connected with and that can lend you cards and you can also lend them cards. Yeah, I agree with that. Ed, once again, is our starter product is a lot better from what I saw. I remember like I was at like a Second and Charles store and they had like this old Vanguard deck, right? Like the very first one, like the Bruise and whatever not, like they were all vanillas. And it seems like now we have like a pretty good starter deck, like products to recommend. Like usually the deck sets are really good to recommend, like the Stride deck sets or like the new Starlight deck set was really good. And then now we're gonna have Night Rose and Harry come out, which is a very good idea for new players to pick up as well. Because I feel like that if they pick up the Stride deck, it has everything. So usually that's a very good way for them to get into the game as well, from my perspective. So yeah, I would say like it's not the worst idea to be honest. So yeah, 100%. I do like what they do with their sealed products. As my buddy Simon says on the podcast, like the sealed products is on point. Um, yeah, and I agree, and I think the anime for Vanguard is just really good now. I feel like the Divines is probably my personal opinion the best anime. Of course, it was done by one of my favorite place that did anime in the first place was Clamp because I'm a huge fan of Cardcaptor Sakura growing up. So I was actually pretty happy when Clamp took over Vanguard. So the animation is definitely on point. Yeah. Oh, so you know Bale. Yeah, yeah. So Bale was one of those people that supported, and I really wanted to get him on the podcast. So I do really enjoy having Bale on the podcast because he gave a lot of opinions on how he felt towards the meta. And yes, Card Capture Sakura is a really good classic. So well as a Tsubasa as well. So I just feel like that I was happy when Clamp took over Vanguard, and I can see why the artwork is so nice because Clamp did it right. So hooray for Bushiroad making a good decision to collab with Clamp. And obviously they took over like Bane Dream and stuff like that too. So I mean, obviously a lot of good collabs here and there. Yeah, but overall, like pretty Vanguard's in a very good direction for my opinion. So, but all right. So I think it's been about a good hour and a 45 minutes. So I am probably gonna keep the life here, but I will do these kind of. I'm not gonna say like super spontaneously, but I wanna start trying to interact with you guys that watch my channel or support like my friends and friends around me. So Yeah, definitely do more of these. Definitely keep commenting and recommend more video ideas. If you have any topics that you want me to talk about on the podcast, please do let us know on the comments and say, hey, can you talk about this in the future? This in the future, because more ideas that you gave or give us is always a very fun idea for me to try out. So I really appreciate everyone that was on the live Q&A, and thank you for commenting because that actually helped out um, to continue the video because mumbling by myself on a random topic is usually very, very, very hard. I usually am better off when I'm listening to someone and I kind of interact with them, is how I usually kind of maintain my conversations in between versus like, I kind of start off a little bit and then I kind of wait. So it's yeah, so I have a better interaction this way. But yeah, I'll definitely keep you guys posted on the next one. And we do have another podcast coming up on Sunday. So I'll be back with a better topic to talk about and discuss. But until then, thanks for watching. Peace out.